If you're feeling like a blue dot in a red state, let me assure you, even if the state might be red, it doesn't mean it's orange. What do I mean by that? Well, I just watched a segment on Colbert that actually brought me to tears, and it had something to do with a Republican town hall. Now, they weren't tears of hopelessness, they were tears of hopefulness, and I'll get into that in just a second. Now, before we go any further, let me tell you this part. Trust your intuition, not your hope, not your desire, not what you wish would happen, but literally that knowing that you feel that you might want to fight against. Like, but I don't have any proof. Let other people prove it who can prove it, but trust your intuition. In January, when this thing went black for a couple of hours, I took 2 weeks off. One, I didn't want to see any reporting about a certain illegitimate person taking a seat. I didn't want to see that at all. And when I returned, I also returned to that blue app, not the blue sky, but the original blue dog, um, only online because I actually deleted all of their apps. So only online. And I started noticing that all I had was red wing garbage. Like, oh my God, thank you, Orange Guy, for doing this. Oh, isn't Elon such an amazing person? Like, it was just so much drivel that you were just like, what's happening? Are these even real sites? And a lot of times, y'all, until they took it away, you could see that they were actually from out of country that was posting those things. Well, in January, I also saw a post from someone who called themselves the Concerned Bird, who was doing a whistleblowing segment about how, as an employee of Shitter, they were required to create bots. And at the time, they had released the full code and everything on GitHub so that you can see what they were told to do. And they had to create all these profiles of these regular people and use them to persuade with content. Now, okay, so again, they call themselves the Concerned Bird, and they started with them being a former employee. And that in the second paragraph, you see once EM got into it, everything changed and it became very dark. I left that platform when he said the orange guy would return. So I left that platform. And as he said, it wasn't subtle, it was ethical. It wasn't ethical. So as you see, he talked about pushing pro orange guy, right wing stuff to people's feeds. But then, like I said, they were creating thousands of fake accounts using Grok and Eliza. And so these, like I said, these accounts were supposed to look real and they were supposed to push certain messages, kind of like the KH is totally in support of the G spot. No, I'm sorry. Of the place that starts with a G, or of the thing that is inhumane that starts with a G. That's what I meant. Not a joke, y'all. Not a joke. Anyway, so all these little messages, and at that time, because remember this was in January, at the time it was absolutely correct because all of a sudden the Lady K's for this and all those other messages that were being pushed, like, but what about G? But what about G? Anytime you mentioned anything that had to do with something, it was always, what about G? What about G? What about G? And I'm like, wait a second, these messages are just way too consistently the same thing. And it just wasn't making sense to me. And then I saw this. And then I realized, oh my gosh, we have been completely infiltrated. So, as I said, when I came back to that blue app, well, not the app, but the website, all I saw was a bunch of broken wing stuff. And it was, and I would like, you know, how you manipulate your own algorithm. I would say, don't show me this shit. Don't show me this shit. Don't show me this shit. And they kept sending it to me. And then, like, it got quiet for a couple months. And then they did a bombardment of it again. And so I'm like, okay, really? This ain't right. Additionally, they say that they also followed foreign governments to, you know, do some manipulation with the algorithm type of stuff. Um, those are the names. We know these names, that they were doing their own campaigns. And since they aligned together, they weren't trying to stop them. All right. And then you see this next paragraph where it says the most unethical part was how we manufactured stories. And the way they did that was with this program. I told you the two programs, but this is what this program is. It's called Eliza, and its first job was look at that highlight. And guess when it was released? In October. And when did they say we finally got what we need? It was in October. I would put that screenshot up, but I deleted it and I'm not sure searching for it anymore. But they said something like we got our secret weapon or something, but it was in October. That's when they felt good. Now also y'all, if we think about that betting site, oh god, what's it called? Polymarket. October is when that guy did that huge, massive bet on 11 different platforms and won 88 million. So people were in on this, okay? So apparently, this person was trying to get in touch with people. He tried to contact some of the other people. There was another whistleblower that I saw, and he gave up too. His had to do with bozos and some other things there. I couldn't see it because he had already deleted it because he felt threatened. I think he sent it to some international people. Because he wasn't hearing anything here, and so he suspected the people here, and I'm saying he, just blanket, he suspected the people here were actually part of that. There was a long trace, a long thread about it, but this, okay, so if you look down there, you'll see the code that was run for Eliza. I don't know if I can make this bigger. Maybe I'll just overlay it when I come in here. But I remember seeing this, and so there are certain words and certain things, certain triggers, etc. All that is here. But you might be like, oh my God, whistleblowers, they are not verified. Well, guess what? There was a follow-up in March, and I never seen this follow-up before, and it is legit on the government website. You can go to this link right here. I don't think they took it down at all. You see this says 9/24. So I don't even know if they know this is still there. It's justice.gov. So this is really a government website. And you're going to find this document. I'm going to flip through it really quickly because I need to show you the Colbert things. Pause to read and pause to read. Better yet, go to that website and look it up yourself. Bro. Look at this italics. It's like they didn't learn anything because they wanted something to happen. The something that we have now. All right, let's get to Colbert real quick. Also, real quick, these documents for some reason are in Russian. But you really need to read it yourself because this right here at the bottom is very important. All right, let's watch this next part. And tell me if you cry.
A Republican Congressman, Mike Flood, held a town hall in Deep Red, Nebraska. And take a look how it went when he tried to talk about Trump's so-called big, beautiful bill.
I truly believe this bill protects Medicaid for the future. Do you think that people who are 28 years old that can work and refuse to work should get free health care?
That's nice. That was... Looks like that was not the response he was expecting. And for the congressman, it did not get better from there.
Next slide, please. These are the other important parts of the One Big Beautiful Bill. Next slide, please.
Next slide, please. When it came time for the Q&A, things got even spicier.
How much does it cost for fascism? How much do the taxpayers have to pay for a fascist country?
This is not about partisan. This is about issues, because we're about to lose our democracy.
Next question. Why are you covering up the Epstein files?
Don't let these bots on these apps, especially this one, fool you. It may be red, but it's not orange. And I truly suspect there are way more small towns that are just like this. Of course, we have our normal intolerables and deplorables, but we also have some decent people who really do just have difference of opinion, or just not deplorable opinions. And I definitely hope this encourages white women especially to stop being used, but also it's time for you to do the work. You have to do some shadow work because your racism is blinding, as is your self-hate for other women. It's time to grow up. Save America.